Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to messy Cosmere Chronicles. The podcast we follow two first-time readers, Sheta and Justin, and we chronicled their journey through Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series. On today's episode, we'll be chronicling Warbreaker Chapters 46 through 49. So now, let's throw it over to the host of Cosmere Chronicles, and get this started. And this is Joe!
Thank you, Joe. Yep, as you all heard, as usual, Cosmere Chronicles. That's this show. We're back. And we're badder than ever.
Bad.
I'm Joe.
Bad to the bone. We're
bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad.
Oh, yeah.
We're like Michael Jackson. We're bad.
And we know it.
Come
Why
on.
do you sound like that?
That's my bad voice.
Sounds like a drunk hick.
Right? That's not bad. It sounds like you're in a pass
Well,
out.
then it sounds like I'm doing a real bad job of that.
Yep, and as everyone heard, I'm stuck here with Justin and Sheta again.
Stuck.
Yep, stuck.
I am.
I mean, that's fair, I guess.
All right. Well,
I have no words, Joe.
Well, let's get some
level
words
of insult I feel
as we go into our random question segment. So, one thing I have to ask you: do the two of you want to be positive this week or negative?
Positive?
It was
Justin?
a trick question. I'm gonna let it defer to Sheta because I would say negative, but it's not fun to be negative after you say positive.
I kind of want to be negative as well.
What the?
Oh.
Then why'd you ask?
I was gauging myself for how I felt.
That's
about this?
not nice.
We'll do
Okay, you
one
know what? Positive.
one
I
negative.
vote positive.
We'll do one positive, one negative.
What are we
So,
doing?
positive. I'll ask you, who are your top 3 favorite comic book writers?
Comic book writers.
Well, I don't want to, well, never mind. You go first, Justin.
Ugh, that's tough, man.
Well, I can go.
I'm just
if you
gonna
guys are
say
thinking.
Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, and probably Alan Moore, but that's a real tough third one. There's so many others to pick from.
And you are not counting mangaka, are you?
No,
Yeah, let's
Americans,
go.
right?
Yeah, let's go.
Or well, not
go.
Americans, but
Yeah,
yes,
you said Alan
American.
Moore.
Yeah, well, I also said Grant Morrison. He's Scottish.
They're all Scots, so my faves. All right. I'll go with Garth Ennis, Mark Miller, and probably Jeff Johns.
All right. With me, I'm going to go Peter David. We'll go with Jeff Smith. And I guess I'll have to go with Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah, Stan Lee.
I've read so many of those old Marvel comics, so I've read plenty of him. But they were still good.
The Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's have become such an institution. I always take them for granted.
And the hard thing is, the writing, the Marvel writing style back then was different, because the artist would draw the comic, and Stan Lee would come up with the plot.
Yeah. So
From
which
the art.
Stan Lee? Is this Steve Ditko Stan Lee or Kirby Stan Lee?
Oh, I have not read as much.
Or is this just
Fantastic
Imagine
Four.
Stan Lee?
I have not read as much Fantastic Four as I read Spider-Man. So,
And why do you have to pick, Justin?
Well, because like Joe said, it's gonna be so drastically different because it's such a collaboration.
yeah, because how Marvel went back then and why Stan Lee was able to write 10 comics a month is they would come up with a basic plot idea. The artist would draw the comic out with that plot, and then Stan Lee would go through and he would fill in the words for all of it. So it's a lot more of the artist adding stuff in then than it is nowadays when the writers are more writing a full script. But yep, those are my 3: Peter David, Jeff Smith, and Stan Lee.
Can we get an honorable cheat of a 4th one?
Yes,
Sure,
you can always
honorable
do that.
mention.
All right. I just have to say Frank Miller. Not saying Frank Miller physically hurt me. I'm good now.
Surprised, Justin.
You have a cheat one you need, Sheta?
Jonan Vasquez.
Oh fuck, that's a good one.
Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I thought of it. about it.
But for me, both Robert Kirkman and Peter David fall into the same category of me reading a bunch of comics, being like, oh, I really like this comic. Oh, I really like this comic. Then realizing all these comics I've been saying I really like are all written by the same person.
Yeah.
Because I was reading like X Factor in the mid 2000s, being like, oh, I like this. And I was reading like some Spider-Man 2099. It's like, oh, I like that. These are both Peter David, and like some other like Peter David stuff I was reading. Same thing, Robert Kirkman. It's like, I read some issues of Battle Pope. Oh, this is funny. Irredeemable Ant-Man. Oh, I like this. And then it's like, oh, Invincible, Walking Dead. Oh, I like these. It's all.
Wait a minute. It's a conspiracy.
Marvel Zombies too.
Well, it's good. Just shows that you are a fan.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really fun to find writers that way, because then, you have no preconceptions about what you're about to read.
Right. Yep. Right now, like what we were talking about, how you always know who's doing what, and you're very aware of it, and it kind of messes with it sometimes.
Well, now let's get rid of this positivity negative, because so last bunch of episodes we have gone through our what we feel are underrated. Now let's flip that around, and now give me what do you feel is one of the most overrated anime.
Overrated anime?
Oh no.
Jeez.
I don't want to say that. People are gonna come at me. Like, attack. I don't want to.
Well, obviously, One Piece, Dragon Ball, and what's the other one that's sacrilege to say?
Don't say that, because I'm gonna say one of those.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Here, I can go first if you're scared.
I'm not scared. I just don't know if I think that way. I'd have to think about it.
Okay, ones that I've tried now.
Yeah, you've tried more random ones.
I don't want to say, Joe.
Here.
Skip.
All right, here. Nope, I'll go. I will feel one of the most overrated anime I feel, Demon Slayer.
Yes, that was on my list as well.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I have read the manga, so I know the story. So it's not just me being a blind hater. I read the entire manga. The Demon Slayer anime, to me, is a studio that just puts in over-the-top flashy animation to cover up for the fact that it has a mediocre story. So people don't realize the story is not that good, because all the fighting and animation is just so over-the-top.
Yeah, I felt like that too. I'm like, now, I was like, watching it, I was like, this looks so good, and I'm waiting to get engaged, because I think as people who read and watch a lot of stuff, like, our expectations are higher for what counts as a good story, and like the action scenes, I was like, okay, I can see why people are really into this, especially younger people. They've probably never seen something like that. But yeah, Demon Slayer for sure, and then Solo Leveling.
I haven't seen it myself, so I can't judge, but I have heard people say that.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, it's just not for me, I think.
But Sheta, it won Anime of the Year from Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's why I checked it out. I was like, oh, sure, let me see, and I just did not like it that much. So maybe I just don't like yeah.
I will say the voting for it was kind of stupid, because the Anime of the Year was for 2024 anime, so that should have only counted season 1 of Solo Leveling. The fact that the voting was happening while season 2 was airing in like March, April, that was clearly going to skew people's votes and hurt them from voting for something like Frieren, which came out last spring.
That's some shady, tricky stuff.
Well, it's not shady. It's just because they do the voting so damn late.
It's shady.
It's shady. She spoke.
All right, Justin, we put our necks out there.
Wait, I only have to say one? I thought I had to have 3.
No, just one.
Oh, thank God. Okay, well, now I got to narrow it down.
My dress-up darling.
You shut your mouth.
Just to piss off
I'm
Sheta.
going to go with, and somebody's going to shoot me, but let me explain, because there's a reason. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I watched the original, and I've read the manga, and the way that Brotherhood rushes through the beginning of the story to get to like the new stuff where it started being changed, it drives me absolutely insane. I could not stand the early pacing of that show, because they knew everyone's already watched it. But if you're going to redo the whole series, I think you need to do it at a respectful pace. And that just turned me off of it completely.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I love the story. I think Full Metal Alchemist is one of the greatest stories of all time. But that anime that everyone loves so goddamn much is not for me. Even though I find it very annoying that if you try to watch the original one, you're getting a totally different thing.
All right.
You
Wait,
said that,
Sheta,
like,
why'd
we're
you
gonna
say
get-
2 then?
Well, I just really agreed with Demon Slayer.
Well, now I got another one I want to say. Similar
Okay.
way.
Say it.
And this is the same thing. I love the manga. I love it. But I don't really like the Chainsaw Man anime that much. I fucking hate the ugly 3D animation that they do in there. I was looking forward to seeing an incredibly well-animated chainsaw rip a bunch of demons and monsters apart. And instead I'm just watching shitty, like, 10-year-olds video game animatics instead. I cannot stand that. When the 3D is done really, really fucking well, like it is in, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think it's really beautiful. But I did not like it in there, sadly. But I love the story, so don't shoot me.
You're saying that right after the trailer for the movie came out.
Well, does it look better? If it looks better, I'd be super into it. Because I was really, really highly anticipating that anime after reading the comic. So if they did a better job, then I'll be all for it. But the show,
I've only read the manga. I haven't watched the anime at all.
Well, you watched the trailer, right?
No, I just know
Oh,
it came
okay.
out.
Then never mind. Well, I hope they do a better job because I'd love to watch that.
Justin, you sound like someone who was about to get slapped the whole time.
I feel like it. I just criticized
Yeah.
2 of the most popular things out there.
Yep.
All of
Better
us
start
did.
running. Yeah.
Everything we just said will piss off all the anime fans out there.
I know. If these are just our personal opinions, please don't
Well,
hate
we'll
us.
see. We'll see who pissed off the most psychotic rabid ones.
Sheta,
It's not my fault that your opinion is straight up wrong.
Sheta, anime fans are not allowed to have opinions. If you're part of the anime community, there are anime you must like, there are anime you must hate. If you ever differentiate at all from those, everyone, it is their obligation to tell you that you're trash and your tastes are trash.
Right. We're not of the body. They'll come after us.
Okay.
Just kidding.
All right. Let's move away from the negativity and go back to Warbreaker, where now maybe there's some positivity there.
Real happy story that.
But let's go and recap the last bunch of chapters we did, and this time it's Sheta's turn.
Dang it. I'm not ready. All right. I'll try to keep it short, sweet. 40 through 45, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're with Siri as she tries Halendrin food and tries to avoid what's his name? The priest who wants to talk to her about getting pregnant. Yeah, Trelides. In which she also sets up a thing with Bluefinger to have on-call servants, to replace all her servants with that in a kind of attempt to get out of there quick if they start coming after her and Susebron. So she thinks she's pretty smart for setting that up, and I thought that was not very smart.
I'm sorry. Do they pronounce it Susebron in the book?
Yeah.
I've been saying Susebron.
It's been both. I don't know.
It's been both?
In the book, yes.
That's weird.
It's been a while since
it's Susebron in the book. Yeah.
It's been a while since I listened to the audiobook, so I just been saying Susebron.
Okay, yeah. It's Susebron, and then Siri affectionately calls him Seb, which I think is really cute.
Yeah, I guess calling him Sub isn't as good.
All right, then Vivenna is on the streets where we last left her. She's doing a really bad job trying to survive with the other people on the streets.
Wasn't that the time before last time?
No, it's this time.
No, she was on the streets at the beginning of last time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Competing to eat out of trash and all that stuff. Then Vasher appears to rescue her and take her away. So I think that's what you're confused about.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it's immediately in this chapter, or not immediately, but yeah, it's towards the end of her suffering. Anyway, Lightsong annoys Allmother into meeting with him, and she gives him finally she agrees and she gives him his command for the Lifeless army, which really surprises him because he was going to give her his. But she's like, nah, you're not getting out of that one. And so now he knows it, and now he has to assume responsibility, maybe. But Vivenna is trying to recover from her homelessness and sickness at Vasher's place, and they talk about death.
His place.
Yeah, his place. Yeah, so she's now has a much different perspective than she had before. And then her and Vasher meet with people to stop the war, and they talk about how she never wanted the war, and they're kind of trying to trust each other. And then Susebron and Siri talk about the baby, like having a baby. And maybe that Susebron, his real parents were not like that. Maybe he was not ever the son of the previous king. Like maybe the babies were swapped. Oh, and then they finally do it. So then
Until I give vivid description, I don't believe it.
And then night, wait, the last chapter, Lightsong has a nightmare. Okay, now that's it for the recap.
Well, Justin, if you want, I can send you a fan fiction showing what happened after that chapter faded to black.
Only if it was written by Brandon Sanderson himself.
Does he have a Patreon where he will?
I always wonder, are there any writers out there who write steamy fan fiction of stuff that like their publisher won't let them put in?
I mean, sign me up.
And so like it is canon, but nobody would ever know it.
Ooh, I like it. It's like Disney sequels, but spicy.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know.
They just upload it anonymously onto like fan fiction sites.
Totally different name. Maybe put a clue in there for a real fan to catch. Like Stephanie Meyer has a whole really steamy page going down somewhere.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Well, Sheta, good recap. Plus, you get +1 to strength this week.
Yes. I'll beat you, Justin.
What, you already would.
I'll beat you harder.
Oh, God. Joe,
all right.
Please don't do this.
Okay, so now, usual question. So this week we read chapters 46 through 49, continued the story. So I'll once again ask, how are you two feeling with these chapters?
I liked getting the science-y magic explanation, finally, of some of this stuff. I found that quite interesting.
I like getting to know Vasher a lot more.
That too, yeah.
And that he's a scientist. Yep. So same as you.
I'm quite a fan of mathed out or magic, personally. I'm not a big fan of, like, magical magic. So I really enjoy getting to see that stuff described. Specifically the idea that we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. We're just experimenting, which makes it seem like old-timey, theories of how things work.
Yeah. It's Wild West for science.
Old-timey? That's what they still do.
Yeah, but they really didn't know what the fuck they were doing then. Now we have a couple more things written down to work off of.
Well, then let's get going with our summaries of these chapters. So we'll go into chapter 46, and we're with Vivenna. And Vivenna eats some food and thinks about the work that she has been doing. She has been going to place after place telling people to prevent, the war against Hallandren. She liked the people that she was meeting, and she feels far better about her efforts that she's doing now than the work that she had been doing with Denth.
It's so interesting that we follow so much of this story being like her doing this thing that's actually horrible, but we are gaslit by the writer, just like she is, into thinking, I guess this is what we have to do. And it's so funny to me that I found all of that, like, I didn't like it. Like, I wasn't supposed to like it, apparently. But I never thought enough about why I didn't like it, I suppose.
Yeah, we trusted you.
Because it's just like meeting with all these scummy assholes to start a war. You get the feeling like, I don't really like this part that much. I don't like the themes of this book, it felt like. I just think that's pretty clever.
Mm.
Vivenna, she also likes Vasher, and she feels like he is actually being honest with her. She doesn't know, though, if she can repair the damage that she had done with all her meetings with Denth, but she still is going to try. And then she goes out for a walk and she thinks about who she was. She wasn't the confident princess anymore. Her confidence that she had before had come from naivety. And she wasn't the waif of the streets either. To say that that was the real her would be an insult to those who actually truly live on the street. And once you strip away the princess and the hatred of Hallandrin, then what was left was determination, and that was a part of her that Vivenna did like. But she also knew that she was a hypocrite. She does believe in Astra, and she believes in its teachings, but she had taken it way too far, and when faith became about clothing instead of people, then faith had taken a wrong turn.
You know, I always think in a fantasy book, that makes perfect sense. I completely agree. But in a fantasy book with magic and stuff, what if it does matter? And if you don't wear the right clothes, you will go to hell. That would be a horrifying lesson to realize you learned wrong and you were supposed to be a judgmental asshole.
That's true. Like, we don't know if colors are cursed by the devil in here. And,
Yeah, some weird thing
know?
you wouldn't have any concept for.
And
But it's like,
anyone
it
in
said it
anything
in the book.
colored will be
Yeah.
dragged down to hell. Like,
Yeah, you're like, what? I thought the lesson was to be nice to people and stuff. And then God's like, no, what are you, stupid?
those
It
are
was
the
to
laws
not
of
wear
this
pink.
world.
What are you talking about?
Don't you know that black is the new pink? Like,
Yeah.
God just comes out, you're wearing pink, you're repping the enemy's colors.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
The gods are just leaders of gangs.
Yep.
just
I-
petty and small. Yeah. See,
Well, you know,
I believe that.
This is written with our modern conception of like modern gods, but like old-timey Greek gods are petty assholes. So I'd be very worried, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Vivenna also wanted to learn how to awaken. She had felt frustrated at how frequently she had been helpless before. And trying to do anything to not be helpless was who Vivenna was. It was why she had studied so hard with her tutors. She wanted to study awakening, so that way she had as much information as she could have, and then she could be prepared. She wanted to be capable. The most humiliating part of her time in Teller was her ignorance.
Agree.
Vivenna decides to try practicing awakening. She stands by a tree and pulls out her piece of rope, and she tells the rope to hold things. But then the rope begins to wrap around her arm instead of the tree. And
Dude,
while
that
doing
would
this,
freak me out. What if you accidentally kill yourself while practicing this stuff? Like it grabs your throat and strangles you and you can't tell it to stop.
This is reminding me of a scary when I had a snake around my arm and it felt like that. I was like, what if it doesn't let go of my arm? It was squeezing it. Like, that's why.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
worst case scenario, they could kill the snake.
No.
Who's they? What if you're alone?
I
Then
would
why are you
never.
letting the snake wrap
kill a
around your
snake.
arm?
I don't know what the situation
This
was.
was at a petting zoo. Like, otherwise, I would never do that. Snakes are scary.
And then also, while Vivenna was waking that rope, she was trying to touch the tree in order to use its color to awaken, but instead, the color from her clothes was taken. She next tries a different command, and she tells the rope to hold that branch. And this time, it uses more breath than it did before, and the rope then wraps around the branch. Alright, and then she tries another command to make the rope wait to grab the tree, but the command doesn't work. And that's when Vasher arrived, and he tells her to use the command, hold when throwing. Vivenna does this, and then she throws the rope, and then it wraps around the tree. But Vasher also points out that now she does not have a way to get that rope or the breaths back. And stuff like this is why he prefers to use a long rope, and he always has one wrapped around his waist like a belt. And the two of them go back inside, and Vasher says that Vivenna seems oddly fascinated with awakening for a follower of Astra. Vivenna says that she is not a good Idrian, and she wants to learn. And Vasher says that he just never really understood why Ostrism suddenly turned its back on awakening, and that it wasn't like that before the Many War. Vasher says that Vivenna isn't who he expected her to be. She says that she was a few weeks ago. Vasher says that her tenacious spirit and sense of martyrdom didn't come from just a few weeks on the streets. And then Vivenna asks Vasher to teach her about awakening, and she tells him that all she knows are just a few commands that Dentha taught her right before Vasher had kidnapped her. Vasher tries to think about how to teach her and says that, yeah, this will be for the best. This way they can actually use that bright aura that she has. And he says that they will start off with theory first. He explains that there
See,
are 4 kinds.
I love parts like this. I love when they just sit down and tell you what the thing is instead of, they always say show, don't tell. Totally disagree. I love in this situation when they just tell me.
Yeah, just spend a whole chapter telling me.
Hmm. Like I'm
I
in
was
school.
I
This is
I
what I
was
look
just
up on my
saying,
own anyways, so. What's
when
that?
I was taking notes for this, I felt like I was in like chemistry class again. So I
Yeah.
was like, a theory of what was it? Theory of sorry. All right, it was law of compatibility. And I was like, what this feels like. And then like the notes look like a science class note, so that was really fun.
Yeah, it's somewhat similar to Kelsier teaching Vin, where he's like, all right, here are the metals.
Yeah, but then they were at least doing stuff. This one I love. They're just sitting in a room.
Kelsier is like more personable too than this guy. Like
That's true. Yeah, this guy
like,
comes off more like a teacher who's not
yep.
there for your benefit. He's just describing the thing. If you
Like,
can't keep up, that's your shit.
yeah. Better take notes and like try to keep up. Like any questions?
It's so funny some of the things he tries to explain when he's like, I don't even know how to say this thing.
Yeah. He's not good. It's funny.
Yep, so Vasher says that there are 4 kinds of biochromatic entities. The first are the returned, or sentient biochromatic manifestations in a deceased host. They are the only naturally...
I love this so much. When he says that shit, like it's a fucking, like a textbook thing. I am enjoying this so much.
They are the only naturally occurring biochromatic entity. And he says that type 2 are mindless manifestations in a host, or the lifeless.
Or MMDH
What?
is what I said.
What?
MMDH, mindless manifestation in a deceased host. Like I just wrote it as a
I see.
He also explains that the amount of breath put into something does not change how strong it is. Like, for instance, if you have 2 pieces of paper that are awakened with using different amount of breaths, they will still be the same exact strength once invested. And then he says that lifeless need a command to be awakened, while the returned have something, said to be Astra in their religion, so something that gives them a command to return. Vasher talks about how biochroma is complicated. There is still a lot they don't know. Vivenna says that he sounds technical and precise, but he says they do know some things. But the more they learn about biochroma, the more they realize what they don't know. And he just throws out a couple questions. Why are specific commands so important and must be said in your own language? What brings the returned back to life in the first place? Why are the lifeless dull-minded while the returned are fully sentient?
See, I love so much when questions like this are brought up, because I have no idea if he has the answers or if he just knows these are huge holes in the logic and wants to write them into the story as they know they're holes in the logic. Either way, I really enjoy this kind of writing.
I have some
You have theories?
Just my answers to those questions.
Yeah. Anytime there's a system of stuff, I love the idea that people don't know it all, because in real life, we don't know everything, not even close. So I find that very fun.
And then next, Vasher explains the Type 3 entities, which are what they typically just call awakening. It's when you create a biochromatic manifestation in an organic host that is far removed from being alive, such as, cloth or sticks. And Vivenna asks, what about bones? Vasher says, yeah, bones are kind of strange. You can awaken a skeleton if the pieces are placed correctly, but it's a lot more work than just awakening a full, complete body. Vasher does say
interesting thing. Yeah, okay, you're gonna do it.
He does say that he's seen interesting things with skeletons before, though.
I fucking bet. Jesus. Fighting necromancers over there.
Vasher says that awakened objects take a lot more breaths, but those breaths can be taken back, unlike a lifeless where you can't get it back. You also want to use simple commands. Even commands that sound simple, such as protect me or fetch something, are a lot more complicated. Which that line also kind of shows us how good he is, because those were exact commands he used in that opening prologue. Because he had the little straw guy just fetch keys, and he told his cloak, protect me. And Vasher goes on, he says, you have to give the right impulse to the thing you are awakening. Vivenna says the discovery of a new command to awaken lifeless with one breath is what caused the many war. And Vasher says that it was part of the reason for the war. And he mentions that there are likely commands that people have found out, but they never shared them. So those commands were lost when they died.
Very reasonable.
What's that?
Very believable. Reasonable that would happen.
Yeah, and I think there's something
Ties into
there.
your theories?
Yes, I'm excited to get to them.
And then Vivenna looks at Nightblood and was beginning to understand what was not right about that sword. She asks what a Type 4 entity is, but Vasher does not answer. And Vivenna says that Type 1 is a human body with sentience, Type 2 is a human body without sentience, Type 3 is a object with no sentience, so that must mean that they can create an awakened object with sentience. Vasher says they have covered enough for the day and that he won't be answering her question and tells her never to ask it again.
Jesus.
And then Vasher tosses Vivenna a dueling blade and tells her that she needs to learn how to fight. And that's where the chapter ends.
Vasher's funny.
The part in there when he's trying to describe what it's like to visualize something in your mind and he cannot describe it, I thought was so hilarious. She's like, yeah, I get it. I know what you're saying.
Anything else from this chapter either of you two want to go over?
I was making a table like that, like human corpse, sentience, no sentience, and then awakened object, no sentience, sentience for the just for Nightblood, and I already thought that was a type of thing, so I just want to know what that is.
The fourth thing?
Well, it feels like it's just going to be that, and that it might be some kind of abomination. So
Yeah, there's got to be something messed up about it.
yeah.
Also, he was all horrified, right, about or not horrified. He didn't like the awakened they have over there, right?
Yes, I have a theory about Claude.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was his best friend, brother. What do you think?
Yeah, or that he made him for them.
He
or
made
something.
Claude for them? Oh, God.
Yeah.
I see. That's scary. And he always felt guilty, you're saying?
Yeah, Claude was pretty skilled as a Lifeless, so I feel like maybe he was even their friend, and he might have helped bring him back to still be part of the group, but as a Lifeless, and he was like, no,
Oh,
this
God.
is yeah,
Wait, what do you mean their friend?
like that
Back when they
he
were
was
all
alive.
buddies.
Yeah, when he was alive, he was like, maybe he was
When
Denth
Vasher and
and
Denth were good friends,
Vasher's-
right?
Yeah. And then Claude gets killed, and they're like, bring him back. You can do that as a Lifeless. And they do, and they all.
Yeah.
Because he paused for a long time after Claude was brought up. He had a strange look in his eye, so I feel like that has to be something big. But, he is kind of very sensitive, as we learn later, so maybe he's just overly
I
sensitive.
don't know that I'd say he's sensitive.
He cried. I didn't know he would be that he was the type of person that would cry, like a man that would cry in front of a girl and stuff,
You trying to call him a little bitch, Sheta? I don't think the fans are going to like hearing you say
I did
those
not say
words that you
I said
just said.
I said he was sensitive.
Jeez, Sheta. First you criticize solo leveling, now you're criticizing a character showing feelings? Jeez.
Yes,
To
I'm
be
just
fair,
a bully.
The tears did come when he saw a child in a cage.
Yeah, but Vivenna didn't cry. She was just like, oh shit, let's get her out of here.
Oh, man.
Vivenna already used up all her tears when she was on the streets.
That's right. So she's tougher than him.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, I think with that, we should move on to the next chapter.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, Sheta, there's somebody who just took everything that you did not say that I claimed you said totally seriously because you did not defend yourself.
There's nothing to defend.
Because real men don't cry. Okay, got it, Sheta. We can move on now.
All right. So chapter 47. We're with Lightsong. And Lightsong is trying not to think about his dreams of Titeller burning. He thinks about how the people worship the Return so much, but the Return don't really do anything for the people. But then there are others whose gods are just not visible to them, and those gods do even less, and the people still worship them. Lightsong thinks about Comseer and that she had been his mentor when he first came here. She was the closest to the divinity than any of the Returned. She actually cared for the people, and she tried to help them so much, but she still felt inadequate about them. Real kindness, love, and mercy for the people. This may have been why she decided to give up her life, because that way she actually finally gave up her life to help. Larmir comes up to the roof with Lightsong, and Lightsong says that no man should be this important. He says that they are not gods, but Larmar says that he does not get to choose that. Lightsong says that he had figured it all out. He was going to give Allmother the commands and have her figure out whether she should support Blushweaver or oppose her. Now he thinks that it all depends on who decides to take those Lifeless first. Does he choose to sit back and let history happen, or does he jump in and just make a mess of it all? Lightsong asked why whomever had sent him back did it. Lightsong knows that he is one of the most popular gods and tends to have the most petitioners and art sent to him, but he doesn't know why. He thinks that this could finally be the moment to prove himself. If he did nothing, then Allmother would be forced to take up the armies. But is she politically savvy enough to understand the danger? Without his guidance, Blushweaver would likely see Siri crushed.
And Lightsong goes from the most upbeat light chapters to some of the darkest, most depressing ones pretty quickly.
He has a lot of range.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's his personality.
Mm-hmm.
He's a god, but he wants to be as low as possible.
Yeah, that's good. It's funny how much work he actually has to put on to maintain this facade of not caring about things.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lightsong asked Larmar who the woman he sees in his dreams is. Was she his wife? He says that this time he really needs to know. And Larmar says that she was not his wife, nor his lover, but she was important to him. Light asks if she is still alive, and Larmar nods. Lightsong thinks that if the city fell, then everyone who counted on him would be in danger. He had only been given one real duty in the government, and that was taking command of the Lifeless.
I bet you got a theory there, Sheta.
About Lightsong?
About who this woman is, if she's still alive.
Oh yeah, that's pretty wild. But I don't trust that.
You don't trust Larimar?
I don't trust that he's telling them the truth. Like
there is no woman, and he's just trying to get him to take control because
because he wants him to go to war. He wants him to protect, to have something to fight for. So like telling him that pushed him to go see the Lifeless. So and he all puts on a show like, I shouldn't tell you this, but she's still alive. Like what kind of a fakey thing is that to do?
What did Orseer do to you, Sheta?
Orseer?
Just destroyed your trust.
Sheta, are there any characters in this book you do trust? You don't trust any of the priests. You don't trust Denth. You don't trust Bluefingers.
I kind of trust Vasher.
That was your first mistake.
Like, I don't think he's telling us everything, so I don't trust him like that much. But I don't think he's straight up lying. I think he's withholding information, but I don't think he's lying.
The best liars don't lie, Sheta.
Yeah, so you really shouldn't trust him either. So,
what's poor Vivenna gonna do when she finds out, Vasher betrayed you in the exact same way? He actually does want a war.
I actually lost my trust in a character in these chapters.
You did?
Yep. I'll tell you when it comes.
Susebron?
I'll tell you when it comes.
Jeez.
And then Lightsong heads to where the Lifeless are held. They are kept in the dark, and he finds them a bit unsettling, since they stand completely still with their eyes open.
That was fucking creepy.
This was the scariest thing.
And he's like, oh yeah, this is why I don't fucking come down here.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. It's the creepiest thing. These are like my nightmares. We're like, I forgot I kept these down here. Like, just glowing in the dark. Like, it's a nightmare.
These are your nightmares, yet you ship Vivenna with one.
Don't judge my dreams, Joe.
You just said they were your nightmares, and now you're saying they're your dreams?
Yes. They're messed up.
She just working through some things, apparently.
Alright. So then, Lightsong tells all of his priests to leave, including Larmar. Usually, the Return let a few of their priests know the command phrase, because then if something happened to the Returned, the Lifeless commands are still out there so they can be passed on to the next god. But Lightsong decides to take the risk, and be the only person that knows the phrase. But if he does get the chance, he will whisper the phrase to the God King as well. And he changes his Lifeless's phrase to the words Red Panther. And he will now go and take control of Allmother's Lifeless, and take his place at the heart of the fate of 2 kingdoms.
Wait, wasn't Red Panther, wasn't that the squirrel? Or am I remembering wrong?
No, that was just
We heard
in
that
his
before,
dream.
didn't we?
It's in his dream.
Oh, that was in his dream. Yeah, okay, that was it. Yeah. So who put that there? Larlamar was whispering it while he slept, knowing he'd
You're
use
right.
it. Is that it, Sheta?
He was getting brainwashed to think of it.
He just keeps whispering Red Panther every single night.
Oh my god. That's
It all
no,
makes sense.
not that part, but he was programmed to put that in there. Those dreams were giving him commands. Oh my gosh. It's all coming together.
Yeah?
I'm writing
He's getting
it down.
commands from the other side. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's part of my theory.
Oh my god. That sounds like what that's the kind of paranoid anti-religious thinking I had at the beginning of the book, Sheta.
Yeah, I was never anti or for that stuff.
I'm all on their side now.
You're a believer now?
I'm a believer. We will kill all those heathenous Idrians.
Justin's just a believer because he saw her face.
Boo.
Anything else from this chapter either you two want to go over?
No, just a bunch of theories and thoughts. But that's it.
All right, let's go on to chapter 48. All right, we're with Siri and Susebron. Siri wakes up in the morning next to Susebron. He's not leaving in the mornings anymore.
Ooh.
And she knows that the...
What does he have? A toothbrush in the drawer and everything?
It's his room.
He doesn't sleep there. That's not the room. That's the sex room.
It's a toothbrush. He would probably open the door to the servants and pretend brushing his teeth, and they'll bring in a sink and toothpaste.
They'll probably brush his teeth for him.
Harry knows that the one thing the two of them cannot do is give the priest a child. But that is what they have been doing the last few nights.
No proof. No proof.
That's so... Okay, go on.
Susebron wakes up. He wakes up and he tells her that he loves her, and she replies back that she loves him.
Oh my gosh. It's like, get out. They're like a new couple.
They are a new couple.
I love
They
you.
finally started dating after being married for like a month.
Gosh, they're so lovey-dovey.
Yeah. Boning all the time, she does all for it. Show any sort of affection? No, don't want it.
That's not true. I like that.
Is that why you picked the zombie as the ship? Because it can't show affection?
Yeah, don't even emote to me.
Don't even emote? Oh my god.
Justin, to be fair, she did move on, Vivenna, from the zombie to Vasher.
Who also cannot emote. Sounds good. Got it.
Alright, and then Susebron asks how long it is until it's obvious that she is going to bear a child. But Siri says that she doesn't know, and that some women in Idris complained about not having children quickly, while others gave birth pretty much 9 months after their wedding. Surprised that she didn't mention. And then some gave birth like 4 months after the wedding. Don't know how that happened.
I have to say, I'm almost on Sheta's side here. With how Susebron's portrayed, I find myself deeply curious what his reaction was when that whole thing started.
Like, whoa, look at that. Like,
yep. Yeah, exactly. A look at that. Yep.
Oh my god.
Will you look at that?
Huh.
That's terrible. It's so stupid. Maybe that's why they didn't write it.
Yeah, because no. That's a private affair that no one needs to know about.
Siri thinks about how strange it is that a year from now she could be a mother. And if she had a baby, both and herself would be made to disappear by the priests. Bluefingers had tried to warn her about the danger to herself and Susebron, and she has just kind of now ignored it. Susebron says that he has made a decision to let himself be known to the people and take control of the kingdom. Siri says that it is dangerous, but Susebron says it is a risk they must take. He says that he needs held by his priests. And maybe she could go to Lightsong and tell him the truth and have him help them. Siri suggests that they just flee, but Susebron says the Hallandren troops will follow them. And he has heard the priests talking in the assembly and knows that if the two of them will leave, then war will come to Idris. But if Susebron is able to take control, then he could stop the war from happening. Siri acknowledges that if they fled, then he would not be able to get the breaths that he needs and he would die. And Susebron says that he would not die. His body would live off of all the extra breaths that he has stored up.
Then why are you eating children? That's my question.
Exactly, Justin.
You don't need to do it anymore, man.
How would his priest be if all of a sudden he's just like, I don't want him anymore?
What are they gonna do? Put him in timeout?
I mean, maybe.
He's not eating children. The children are still alive. He's just
They're
taking
worse
the
than
magic.
You know, if this was a thing in our world, I guarantee it would be very, very illegal. That's all I'm saying. Or at least heavily regulated.
Yeah, are you really saying that a thing that could happen that could make the rich more powerful would be made illegal?
I didn't say it wouldn't happen. It would be made illegal so that the poor cannot become powerful by doing it themselves. The rich would still be doing it.
Yeah.
Just like how I'm not allowed to hunt people for sport, but we all know the rich do that.
Yeah, I've read The Most Dangerous Game. And Siri put that, hey, since he won't die, then that means that they could flee. But Susebron says that all the breaths that he have would just wind up making him a valuable target, even if he was not the God King. Siri says this and says that they will have to make their move soon, just so that way they could do it before any potential pregnancy begins showing. Susebron says,
I agree with that. I'm so glad they're not doing this runaway plan. That was the dumbest shit in the world.
And Susebron says that there is an important assembly meeting in a couple of days to vote on whether or not to go to war. This time to expose the priests and the truth about Susebron. And that's the end of that chapter.
You know, shit, I actually don't disagree with you about suspicions, you know.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part because of what I said. The runaway plan was stupid. It was dumb, but I understood why they come up with it. This sudden change,
No.
it's somewhat
Wait,
fishy.
wait, stop. We have to finish the chapters.
Wait, is Susebron not the one that you no longer trust?
It is. It's him. After this chapter.
This coming chapter or the one we just read?
The one we just read. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it, Sheta. Because he's the, well, I'll let you say later.
I'm scared. Okay. Continue.
Scared that he was only using Siri for sex now that he got it.
No,
and he's just going to dump her to the side.
Yeah, he's just a dirty guy. Not even some
No.
big grand, like, cosmic magic
No,
plan.
no,
He's just a
Not
just
like
a
that.
scumbag.
Okay. Next chapter.
It'll be like the one guy Buffy dated at the beginning of season 4, where he seemed like a cool guy, then once they slept together, just talking to her. And that messed her up for like 4 episodes.
She bounces back quick.
That was only her second time sleeping with anyone.
I know.
And the first time was like deep, true love.
She's just a baby.
She bounced back with Riley, okay? That is not a good thing.
That's not
That
really a
is a-
bounce back. It is Riley. He's the worst.
Riley's a massive. That's just where you look at Buffy being like, what are you thinking? It's Riley.
Riley is not the worst. He's not the
Riley.
best.
He's like what you do when you give up. Like, ugh.
He is not. He's a soldier. He's part of the freaking.
Right.
You know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not even a Riley defender,
he's
but
a junkie.
I need to step up and protect his name here.
He's just really lame.
I didn't say he wasn't. I'm
You
just
don't
saying.
go from Angel to freaking Riley. Like,
I'm not a Riley defender, but you
Sounds
guys
like
are being a bit harsh on the guy. That's all I'm saying.
Not only that, I think the funny part is when you're watching Buffy and Angel at the same time, she started kind of get into Riley, then Angel's like, I have my soul back. Then they just start boning again.
Well, yeah, of course.
you
And-
always
and
drop
that-
a Riley for an Angel. Is all
That's
I'm saying.
totally different.
Yeah, so the thing, it's like, all right, I'm starting to like Riley, starting to, wait, I can be with Angel? Oh, no, sorry, done with you.
The only reason they weren't together was because of that pesky soul problem.
Exactly.
See, they should have
Riley
looked
already had a soul. That makes it better.
They should have looked for a way to change it so that way Angel could have a soul, but also not lose it. Like what they did with Spike.
Hmm.
That was much later. Also, he got it from That was a very specific circumstance. I don't think you could redo that. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, I don't think so. What the fuck are we talking about at this point?
I don't know. I got there for being worried about Susebron. Or anything else from this chapter you two want to go over?
Not as of yet.
All right. Then we'll go on to our last chapter of the day. All right. We're starting off with Vasher, and he's watching Vivenna practicing her awakening from outside a window. She doesn't like watching her. He notices that she is learning very quickly how to awaken, and she would still get frustrated by how often she gets things wrong, but she is learning much faster than she really should have. And Nightblood tells Vasher that he likes her. Glad they kill her. And Nightblood also says that she is pretty, but Vasher points out that Nightblood can't see. But Nightblood responds that he has decided that he can tell how she is, so that's why he thinks she's pretty. Vasher thinks that she should never have come to Hallandren in the first place, and she wound up giving Denth a tool. Granted, Denth would not have needed her to accomplish his goals anyways. Vasher heads inside the building, and then he sees Vivenna, and he tells her that Denth's safe houses are empty now. Vivenna had hoped that they could watch Denth and figure out what he was planning. But Vasher says that they are going to meet with some more workers. Vivenna says that they can't keep doing this. Denth had met with more powerful people, and she doesn't think that what they are doing will really make much of a difference in comparison to that.
I like yeah, we'll meet with them if they're on break. Like, it was so sad. Like,
his damn it, I know! Punch in the wall.
I know. Yeah, that was funny too.
He's such an interesting character to me because he's so competent and not that smart at the same time. I always think that's a fascinating mixture.
He has his skills. And that's it. So I'm like, thank goodness Vivenna's here.
I'll say it when we're done. Remind me.
Okay.
Vasher says that he has tried other leads, but he is always a step behind Denth. He even tried to figure out who is behind the war, and he followed leads in the Court of Gods, but everyone there is growing more tight-lipped. Vivenna asks if they can talk to the priest to argue against the war. Vasher says that most who were against the war have caved, including Nanrova. Vasher says that he had talked with Nanrova in the past, and that he was against the war, but now he is arguing for it.
Man, that just sounds like some Star Wars name you grabbed. That doesn't sound real at all.
Yeah.
We've heard it multiple times through the story, though.
Have I?
Yes.
I've never heard it said. I only read it. I think that's the thing.
I can't even imagine how it's spelled.
And Vivenna remembers that Nanrova's carriage was the one that they had targeted as a distraction in one of Denth's plans. And so Vasher goes to leave to go to investigate. Because you remember, that's the one where, was it Parlin and Tongfa started a fire, and then Claude broke the leg of the horse and caused a bunch of gold to spill, and using that as distraction, Denth and some other people store a bunch of salt from a salt merchant.
Salt, that's right.
Hours later, returns. He tells Vivenna that the next, and when he comes in, she gets startled, she grabs her chest. And he tells her the next time she is startled, then she should grab her sword and not her shirt.
Unless
grab
she's
her shirt, ready to take it
off.
I knew both of you were going to say that.
Well, actually, I did not have it written on here, but I thought the line was funny, so I had to say it.
It was funny. Her reaction was funny.
Clutching her pearls.
And
I do declare.
And Vasher says that the robbery was the distraction, and that Nanrova's carriage was the real target. And Vasher takes off his shirt and he puts on a new one, and the new shirt has the sleeves cut into ribbons. And you also have some more stuff for Sheta's ship here and there.
Yeah, nothing, Sheta.
I didn't have to say anything. Brandon Sanderson already said it.
And he had such a good six-pack. She was like, yeah.
She couldn't look away because it was so
This
hairy.
isn't Stephanie Meyer shit, though.
It really came off more as she couldn't look away because she's like, no, I can't be a prude.
No,
yeah, that's the excuse I use, too, whenever I just stare at people when they're taking their shirts off.
Exactly. And Justin, this is very comparable to Twilight. The part where Ciri's lying on Susebron's chest and it's like he was carved.
No. Twilight goes into such detail on that. It's absurd.
This is going into more detail than I would have they could ever have hoped for.
Could have hoped for.
Like I just imagined it. And I was like, when I hear it, I was like, whoa, nice. I like that Vasher's hairy.
Yeah, that was interesting, actually.
Well, Sheta, how would you feel if I told you that in a later book we get a shower sex scene? Would you believe
What?
me or not?
I guess what I would believe less is that there were showers in one of the books. If you said a
Just go.
bath or maybe like a waterfall like scene, I would believe it.
No. Goes into the bathroom, goes into the shower, turns it on, and then two people start having sex.
Nice.
All right, back to this actual story. And then Vasher, he commands the shirt that he's wearing.
Upon call, become my fingers and grip that which I must.
And Vivenna's surprised by this command that he gave.
Yeah, what the fuck
Vasher-
was that? After all that talk about what you can't do.
And then Vasher tells her that, that's too complicated for you.
He then awakens his pants, become as my legs, and give them strength.
Yeah, what the fucking... What are the rules here, man?
These are enchanted pants, Justin. It's different.
Enchanted pants, huh?
Yes, enchanted.
I certainly
mine.
didn't
I think
get
the
that
big-
sense from them.
Well, I think the big thing is from what he said before, where you have to visualize it. So he has like the intent when he's saying it.
And then he puts the last of his breath into his cloak with protect me. Vasher says that he's going to go capture some of the thieves, and he asks if Vivenna wants to come along. She is shocked that he actually asked her, and she agrees to come. She takes her rope and she awakens it with the words, hold when thrown. Vasher is a little surprised that she's doing that, and she tells Vasher that's better to lose her breath than get killed. Vasher says, yeah, that's better thinking, because most awakeners are just simply too afraid to go without breath, and they would rather die. He then tells her to get rid of the rest of her breath. So she puts all the rest of her breath without a command into her shirt, and she becomes a drab. This way they can walk through the city without any breath and be easier to hide. They go into the shadier parts of the city, parts that even Vivenna had avoided when she lived on the streets. They're walking, and they come to a stop, and Vasher, he goes to investigate a building. Vivenna thinks about why she came, because Vasher had told her that she didn't have to come, but she was tired of things just happening to her, and she wanted to do something. Vasher comes back and says that he silenced 2 guards. He says that they're going to have to go inside, and he will not be able to use Nightblood, though, because Nightblood doesn't leave anyone for them to question. The 2 of them go to the side of the building, and Vasher makes 3 little straw men and give them the command, find tunnels. Vivenna is surprised at how that sort of command would work, and figures that Vasher has so much experience that he's just able to do it. And she thinks about how he spoke earlier like a scholar, and thinks that he has studied awakening very seriously. And then the straw men find a trapdoor. Vasher takes the breaths back and thanks the straw man. He opens the door, puts his hand inside and removes some bells, and then the 2 of them enter into a cavern. They walk through the cavern, and this is where the thieves' real hideout is, and the building up top is just a front. Vasher and Vivenna sneak around, and they find a cage with a young girl inside.
Denth had kidnapped Nanrova's daughter.
Oh, man. That's the last thing you want to find in a fucking cage.
Yeah, it was so creepy and terrible.
Denth had kidnapped Nanrova's daughter from the carriage, and he had used her as blackmail.
At this, Vasher becomes livid and yells at the men in the cave to let the girl out. And then he goes and he fights them with Nightblood. Still sheathed. While they're fighting, Vasher's shirt sleeves go and they grab a man's sword and pulls it out. A man comes up from behind to attack Vasher, but Vasher's cloak attacks him. And he's pretty much handling everything pretty easily. While this is going on, Vivenna tries to awaken the cage lock, but remembers that you can't really awaken metal. So then she pulls a thread from her shirt and at first tells it to unlock things.
But that doesn't work.
No way that would work. I would have called bullshit if that worked.
And then she next tells it to twist things. And the thread goes into the lock and it twists around and unlocks the door. Vivenna tries to help the girl, but the girl's just simply too scared and in shock. Vivenna looks back at Vasher, who has now beaten all the thieves, and he's just looking much larger. And Vivenna can hear a voice saying, "Draw me, kill them." And Vasher begins to unsheath Nightblood. Vivenna yells at Vasher. The girl won't come to her. Vasher looks back at her, and his eyes are just glazed over. Vivenna says that he's already defeated the men and that there is no reason to draw the sword. But Nightblood responds, yes, there is. Vasher blinks and he comes back too. He pushes Nightblood all the way back into the sheath. Vasher goes back over to him and he's looking back at normal size, and Vivenna thinks his larger shape must have been a figment of her imagination. And that little girl immediately goes over to Vasher, which surprises Vivenna. They leave the caves and they begin heading to Nanrova's mansion. And Vivenna pulls the girl to the side and he tells her to repeat some words to him and to mean them. And Vivenna, she can't really hear them, but she's able to sense them with her biochromatic breath, and she sees the girl's biochromatic aura flicker for a second. And she thinks about what Denth had told her, that you cannot give away just a part of your breath. It was all or nothing. And she figures that it was just another thing that he had lied about.
And when Vasher and the girl return...
Do you, Sheta?
No. I think Vasher's doing something only he can do.
I agree.
And when Vasher and the girl return, the girl is completely fine and does not remember anything about the entire experience. They arrive at Nanrova's mansion, and outside of it there are dogs barking. But when the dogs see Vasher, they stop barking. Nanrova comes out and he retrieves his daughter. Vasher tells him the men that took her have been punished. Nanrova says that when his daughter was taken, he was told to argue against the war, otherwise they'd kill her. Vasher tells him to keep his daughter safe, and also to make sure that the kingdom does not use its Lifeless for a slaughter. As they leave, Vivenna asks how he got the dogs quiet down, but Vasher doesn't respond. Vasher tells Vivenna that she has redeemed herself. Denth would have kidnapped the girl with or without Vivenna's help, but Vivenna saved that girl's life tonight. Vivenna says it was just happenstance, but she still thanks Vasher. And he apologizes for losing his temper in the battle earlier, and that a warrior is supposed to be calm. And that is why he never was a good duelist. Vivenna is glad that she took another pawn away from Denth, but she wished that she didn't see the lavish mansion the priests live in. Vasher says that Nanrova's father was one of the wealthiest merchants of the city, and that Nanrova became a priest for no pay as gratitude. He says that priests are always easy to blame. And Vasher apologizes, and he's like, I didn't mean it like that. He's not very good at this. And Vivenna thinks that Vasher is a good man. She had judged Denth by the amusing things he had said, but this time she is judging Vasher by his actions. She saw him cry when the child was being held captive and returned that child to their father, with the only reward being the father arguing for peace. He is rough, brutal, and had a terrible temper, but he was a good man. And that's the end of our chapters for this week.
We learned a lot.
Book finally got started. That's what I think.
Just in time to end.
You still got like 70,000 pages left, Sheta.
Do we?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
We
Joe
don't.
said the next book's already.
70,000 pages, Gina. Jesus.
I want to know how the hell this book would be bound with 70,000.
Maybe like
Anything
those
else from this?
essential comics.
Those aren't
70,000.
70,000 pages.
Anything else from this chapter you two want to go over?
I like getting to see some righteous fury from a protagonist. That's always fun. It's interesting that he wanted to keep going.
Yeah, I like learning about Vasher a lot. Lots of stuff to think about. Let's get into it.
All right, well, we'll go over to our theories and predictions. This week, since we're close to the end of the book, I'm not really going to ask specific questions except one at the end. So I just want you to throw out whatever theories or predictions you have, and then I'll ask you how the book will end.
Justin, you go first. I got
Me go first. You're the one who's been aching to say your theory the whole time. Sheta? Hello?
Okay, just had to get some water.
Oh.
I actually don't do well. I want to be prompted, so gotta prompt me.
Why don't you trust Susebron, Sheta? That's the prompt.
Okay. I was like, oh my goodness. What if Susebron is faking all of this I can't read stuff like in 51st Dates?
That's your inspiration? 51st Dates?
Yes. Where he's just like, I can't read. And then she teaches him to read, and then she falls in love with him. And it's all fake. He totally can read. I'm like, okay. You're telling me this guy's been alive for 50 years with anything at his disposal. I mean, not anything, but most things at his disposal. And he's smart. He learned to read really fast. He's not stupid. He's clever. He can put things together. And you're telling me he never thought of this stuff in all that time. I just don't believe that. The minute I started to doubt him, I started to think of all this stuff that didn't really make sense, that could make a different sense, and it just fell together. Which I would just
Why do you believe that? How would he have learned to read? That's the question.
Well, he has his
If
book.
the priest won't teach him and he has no way to learn.
I'm not 100% sure on the can't read thing, but I am sure about him.
Oh, you're
suddenly,
sure?
I'm not sure, but I am sure, or I am thinking that him wanting to overthrow the priests and to like take control of what he thinks is his rightful place as the king of everything, and having Siri help him is a thing.
Where'd this rightful place stuff come from?
Well, it was when he kind of like casually was like, I think I kind of want to take over my kingdom again, and I kind of think if you help me I could do it.
Well, my question is, could you not read that as him just saying, Siri, that plan's fucking stupid, we need a better plan?
You totally could read it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, you totally could. It just hit me weird that he would say that way, and like
drastic turn.
Yeah. And also like now that they're sleeping together, and now that I feel like Siri's really in love with him and really likes him now, like trusts him fully, that he's gonna turn out to be like that the priests were protecting everyone from him all this time, actually,
What would his purpose be, though? What would be the point of deceiving her?
Oh, okay. Well, then I have another theory about how...
Oh, you gotta finish that theory.
He, like the rest of the Return, have a command inside them to do what they need to do, and that is what he's following. That's the theory.
So you're doing theory mixing again?
Yeah. I'm going off of something I'm just making up, so it's not real. But I believe it. If I believe it like that, then I think he has a mission, and it's to become the ruler and use his breath for something like...
So here's the question. Why does he need to trick Siri? What is the purpose of that? That is what this all falls on.
Yeah. I think it's like what he said. I think he has been kind of trapped with no inside allies, because he can't talk. He has no contact with anyone but Siri. And when he was like, what about your friend, like Lightsong? Maybe you can have him help you. Like, that was when I was kind of like, what does, like, I think his plan to make the priest look bad and get the other returned on his side. I don't know. I think I don't know.
Have done that any day of the week?
Because he had no one to get. He just needed a small hole in that Siri now,
Mm-hmm.
A small hole in the net that the priests have made around him.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe the priests really like are scared, so that's why they want the baby to be born, so they can get him out of there, Yeah.
Damn, you were all in love with Susebron last week. Now one thing happens, it's like he's the embodiment of evil.
Oh, I know. I hate this. I hate this theory. I don't like it at all. Like, I don't want him to be bad. I really like his simpleness and niceness, and I want him to just be good.
I don't think he's evil at all, but I was thinking similar things. But mine is more like he's some... What were those old things that came over on the ships, and there was some like scary stuff with it again, Sheta?
You mean
that you
like
were getting really into and having all these crazy conspiracies with?
You mean like Peacegiver, or the first people?
What was the bad thing they faced?
Khalad and his...
Yeah, Khalad, that was it.
Khalad's phantoms.
That he is that. The phantoms or something, or all the powers they have, and they reincarnate into every generation, and the priests pretend it's a god to keep it captured, and control it, because they know that if people thought it wasn't a god, they'd try to steal it, but if they'd worship it, then they would think that, that they can't get in and do that. It'd be so protected and people wouldn't even think to do it, And so they've been doing that this whole time, and he knows, and that's why they cut his tongue out. That's why they keep him on such a short leash, and that's why they're so weird about it. But he's just, like you said, trying to get some power in the assembly before he's going to be, killed, and maybe he's going to be killed because he just started getting his memories back or something, which happens every now and then. So they're like, we need to replace him right now because he's going to turn into the Dark Lord again.
Exactly.
And get access to all his powers. I don't believe any of that, but a version of that is what I thought when he starts saying, I think we should change to a plot we haven't brought up for this whole book yet, So I don't agree with you, but if I did, that is what I would think is happening.
I said a while ago that the return were just the phantoms, where Kalad's phantoms were returned.
I don't believe that one. But they did explicitly say they're trying to pass this power down from generation to generation, and their holy duty is to protect it, Maybe it's to protect it from coming out and doing the evil stuff that it was, assigned long ago to do,
That's the commands, yep. The old original command of them.
Mm-hmm. But that's just playing. I don't believe it.
And Justin, didn't you have something about Vasher you wanted to say?
What was it I wanted to say about him? Oh, yeah. This isn't a theory. But, Joe, you said this book was written as, a wedding present or, inspired by a wedding, correct?
While Brandon Sander was writing it, he did get engaged and married during that.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that's definitely been a theme, because, Sheta, you said about, they help each other, they fill each other's thing, right, He can't talk good, but she can, for Vivenna and Vasher.
Yes, Vashvenna.
Vashvenna. I think that's definitely been a theme throughout this book, is people coming together, and instead of having a big war, trying to talk things out and understand each other's things better.
They complete each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing with why I started to go against Susebron and Siri. It's that now Vivenna and Vasher are starting to be a good couple. So I'm like, they can't both be good couples, because then we're going to have some kind of lame happily ever after thing, and that's not going to work.
Why can't there be a happily ever after thing?
Oh, both sisters find super cool guys that they get married to? That's not going to happen.
Well, Susebron is either going to be evil or sacrifice his life at the end. He's not going to live. No way in God's earth does he live. I just don't believe it.
Sheta, would you make you feel better if the third sister married?
I do have a theory that
if she did,
second, I thought that maybe Fafin was the girl that Lightsong dreams about.
What?
Who is alive and stuff.
Why?
Because she's the reincarnation of the woman he loves.
She's a reincarnation?
Yes. All of
Where did that come from?
How would Larimar know this? How does Larimar know that?
Because it's in the history books. All the priests in the inner circle know that.
That's quite a big thing. I don't know if I'm prepared to accept that one.
Yeah, that's why they have the royal locks and stuff, because they're reincarnated.
So all the priests, they all know that, this second sister is reincarnated. Let's ignore her, though.
No, the whole family's reincarnated. They're reincarnated from their old family, So it's the same people.
I'm following the Susebron stuff, even some of the weird shit. I ain't following that one. That one's a bit much for me.
That's okay. I'm barely following my own threads. But yeah, I just thought maybe if Lightsong dates Fafin, then all the sisters could have someone to be with.
Lightsong is also going to sacrifice himself at the end. The
Lightsong
returned cannot live. They can't. They're too selfish. If they live, they're the bad guys.
Lightsong also kind of has a girlfriend.
Lightsong is going to convince... You mean the queen?
Lightsong's girlfriend is Blushweaver.
Kind of.
No.
He's not into Blushweaver.
Lightsong is going to convince all the returned to sacrifice themselves to stop the war, Sheta. None of them are going to live. Not a single one.
So just like the freaking shape changers in Mistborn.
Chandra?
Well, they just sacrificed their identity. They still lived,
Same.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
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 Magical
Yeah, 'cause
sacrifice.
at the end, it did say that says it gave them back their blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Any other theories you two want to throw out?
Oh yeah. You can feel free to cut any of the more stupid, less interesting ones.
Well, now I'm gonna definitely keep them in and include your warning. Everyone.
Warning: from this point forward, they'll just
Dumbest shit you've ever heard incoming.
All right, I'm pulling my notes.
Oh, God. If I hear the fucking word time travel, I'm leaving.
No time travel. Okay, so just basically that these are just going to be little points that I think that they're wondering why the returned have sentience and lifeless don't. I think that it's just because they were commanded to have sentience with some kind of when they were made, but that something like that. And then I'll have this
Is that from this side or the other side?
well, yeah, whoever
That's
sent
the
them.
interesting question. Yeah. Who sent them? This side or the other? Did the priest do this, or is it the entities on the other
priests are
side did it?
nothing. The priests are just people in this.
So,
yeah.
Okay. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, and then yes, humans have better brains, better than squirrels and rope, so they're able to carry out their mission and continue. Their command is able to be continued to be passed to the next host until the task is complete.
Oh, God.
That's my reincarnation theory. And then, yes, the returned have a command on them and they're just acting and carrying them out. That's been a theory for a while for me. And then I also have a theory that there's a type of breath that is really old, like a petrified or super condensed breath that has ultra powers, and that's what is able to power a returned. It might be the type of breath that the God King has, like something that's built for a long time, like a generational. Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna say that we already kind of know that. It's been said throughout the story that the returned have a kind of like a divine breath.
Yes, they have a
So
deific breath. So I think
they have one single breath that pretty much puts them to the fifth heightening. So yes, and it's since the God King is a return, he does that one, and he also has like 50,000 plus on top of it.
Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, when I was writing this, I did not get to that part, so I was really excited. So I feel like that just confirms my theory. Okay, now this theory is like, these two forces that are fighting are playing like wizard's chess, in which the
like
pieces...
ruin and preservation.
Yeah. Well, no. In this case, it would be colors versus blacks, and that it would, because black is going to be the opposite of colors, which is why Nightblade has black smoke coming out of him. But yeah, the pieces are now just moving, and this game was set into motion like hundreds of years ago.
You think he's going to do another Two Entities book? Don't you think that would get stale?
Well, it wouldn't be two entities. I don't know. Maybe just two people, since he didn't do that last time, really. It was kind of still two people. Anyway, then I feel like Siri and Ravenna were two pieces, and their dad swapped the pieces last second, so that kind of threw everything to shit. So.
Man, you are writing a whole other book here. You just need to write this shit down and put it into a book, because you got a whole story of your own there. That's pretty sweet. His last minute whim fucked up their whole like generations plan, right?
Yep. Because it was like the opponents mapped out the moves like 3 moves ahead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because this was planned, and yep. I don't.
You know the plot of your next book. Because that's not in here. You just made that up.
Hey.
It's cool, but it ain't in this book, that's for sure.
All right. Then another is that we kind of talked about, but that the priests were probably told to cut out Susebron's tongue so he doesn't give out the command to start a war. So maybe Warbreaker actually means breaking into war instead of stopping a war. Because you break into a fight, right? So I don't know. I just was thinking.
Fight breaker. It doesn't sound like starting one. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah. Oh man. And then I have a theory that
theory. I don't think you know what that word means, Sheta.
when I have to sit on a book for a week, this is what happens. I just start thinking that maybe the name of the son that is born will be Warbreaker.
Hey, actually, not the son, but one of our characters has returned, right? I dig that.
Yeah, and that'll be the last word of the book.
Oh, I don't know about that, but we shall call him, for his ability to stop the war, we will call him Warbreaker.
Yep. Because I was like, Warbreaker is such a...
Yeah, it's a return
name.
Yeah, I totally dig that.
Yes, I was like,
I dig that one good. Shit. Why is it that the one that's built on the lore and has a reasonable reason is the one where you're like, oh god, this one's crazy, and the one that's just some random ass story of your own you write, you're like, that's the one that's real.
Okay. A side note, whenever I do my Amazon returns, they just got a little bit more epic because I keep having to see the word return. So I was like, oh yes, my return.
That's it. It's just God returning the souls. He's like, I don't want these, actually.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Don't try to make your addiction sound more badass than it is.
I didn't do it. This book did.
All right. Anything else?
Just Vasher is definitely older than he looks. He doesn't change. His beard doesn't even grow. Maybe
he's a returned. Yeah. That's why he got bigger, right?
Well, that's actually my Tonk Fa theory, which he also got bigger,
Did he?
So
I don't remember that.
He got bigger and scarier during the fight, and I think
okay.
I told him a Hulk and stuff, but I think it might be like a weapon power or something like that.
Yeah, just a power we don't. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I didn't want him to be returned, so I like that better. And then maybe he doesn't change because of the same kind of thing, right?
Well, I still think he's a returned.
Really?
Yeah. But then I also thought he's an entirely rogue element with like a different kind of, I don't know. Maybe like instead of, I don't know. But I wonder if he and Lightsong knew each other in the past. So, I don't know.
I don't know. Vasher doesn't seem to have the figure to be the woman in his dream. We saw him without his shirt.
You got me, Justin.
That got you? That was terrible.
That everything, Sheta?
That an empty vessel can be a container and it can be a ship.
Oh, God, I'm so scared. Your damn ship thing makes no sense.
All right. Sorry. Again, you can just close any of these or not talk about or delete any of these that might not be anything.
He'll only delete the ones that make sense.
I can't delete them because then I have to delete Justin's reactions.
Next time I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Well,
I still have a couple more. Sorry.
Okay.
Only like 30 some more.
When Susebron said, he was like, so how long is it going to take for this baby to arrive and stuff? It seemed like he was kind of either worried or anxious for it to happen too. And I didn't like that. I got all sus.
Well, I have to say, he doesn't know how it works.
Or he's pretending, just like how he pretended he couldn't read.
He didn't pretend he couldn't read. You just said he did that.
I can't read.
Don't you think that if he could read, he would have written a letter by now to do his evil grand plan? Do you think he has?
And give it to who?
And give it to anyone. He's
No.
God. He can get away with stuff.
I just think that he's a prisoner, and when you are imprisoned like that with no one, no allies, you are trapped. Yeah.
And your evidence is he's just shifty, right?
Yeah. He could be ignorant. He could still be ignorant, but I feel like he's still evilly trying
You
to
just said
a
he was
way out.
pretending he couldn't read. That's the only thing I took up any issue with.
Maybe he put it on like he couldn't read, like really couldn't read or something. I don't know.
When you turn out to be right, but it's for all totally different evidence than anything you said, you're not allowed to gloat.
I'm gonna gloat so hard.
No.
I'm gonna gloat, and I'm gonna
I don't want to hear any I
in
knew
your
it when it
face.
reveals he couldn't read all along still. Your theory is completely determinant on him pretending not to read. That is a factor of it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say he could, like, that it would be like that.
You literally just said, just like how he pretended he couldn't read.
Okay, that's with that theory in place. But it will still work without that theory in place.
Yeah, so what? By that logic, I can just say any random thing. All right. I'm out. I'm tapping out. I got no good theories. I'm tapping out.
Okay, my last. Okay, that the woman who made Nightblood is either figured out the command phrase or the power to make the sentient objects and stuff, and that maybe Vasher knows it and won't share it, or maybe that's why Denth hates him. Denth, who is a master swordsman, like that, or if Vasher was maybe the apprentice, student, or master of this woman who I wrote as a woman scientist who died. Like,
oh my fucking god, shit. I swear to God.
She made Nightblood.
You can't just say things.
Well, to be fair,
well,
we do know that it was a woman named Shishara that made Nightblood. That is a
Yes,
fact.
but what about the rest of that stuff? That's the stuff I'm taking issue with.
I think Vasher knows some of the secrets that she learned, or he learned from her or with her, or something like that.
Hey, give me one piece of evidence.
Because he did a weird thing, erasing the girl's memory. He has a long relationship with Nightblood.
No.
Huh? What?
Just go on.
And when he talked about how that those commands die with the person who figured it out, like they don't share it openly, I think he has one, and he's hoping to die with it, like take it to the grave. Like, so that's that theory.
Theory again.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Oh wait, one more.
No. You're done. You're cut off for the night.
It's about the return.
You have had enough. Does it have evidence?
Yes, kind of. When the Lightsong goes, he's looking at all the castles, and he's like, wow, what would happen if too many others return before we kill ourselves? And I was like, Lightsong, there's a set number of returned, and they're either done or they're going to be reborn eventually. Like,
evidence.
There's only a set number of castles.
Evidence.
Because there's
You
only
said there were evidence. Let's hear it.
Returned are reincarnations.
I was promised evidence. What's the evidence? You promised me evidence.
That we don't know where they come from.
Oh my god. Well, I can't argue with that shit. Okay. You know, for someone who's predicted the ending of multiple books, you sure do say a lot of crazy nonsense.
How do you think I did that, huh?
Those ones were based on evidence and logic.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. I heard them.
Okay, and the God King's castle is black, so that just proves he's an old dark king of blackness.
It absolutely does. You could not be more right. That's true.
Yep.
Not that they don't want colors bouncing off of everywhere because of how much breath he has.
Well, that too.
That too, but obviously the first one as well.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
to keep his powers intact or away from him.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's move on. other.
Wait,
like I said,
before you do
we're
no,
close.
I'm kidding.
No, we didn't talk about Vasher's niceness powers.
I am
His
gonna
what
jump
powers?
through the screen
His-
and attack
his-
you.
His niceness powers. Why children and animals love him. He is a princess.
Is that it? Is that it?
Not a prince. He's a princess.
To be fair, I just assumed he was doing some power we don't know about, but it could be very well that he's a princess. That is true. It's equally valid.
Okay. All right, let's cut this off now, and I'm gonna have to go into the other part of the theory. Or as it's close to the end of the book, every book asks you the same thing: how is this book going to end?
How's it going to end, or what are going to be the rest of the book to the ending?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, rest of the book to the ending.
Well, sadly, Susebron is going to show his true colors, which is black. And then he's going to force everyone to go to war. And the return are going to have to decide what side they're going to be on. Then Kalad's phantoms are going to show up. And they're going to fight the Lifeless. And then Siri's baby's going to pop out and be like, stop fighting. And then
No,
she's
you
gonna-
don't mean that. You don't mean that, do you?
Well, when it pops out, Susebron will lose all his power.
That's
like,
your real
"No."
that's your real guess?
And it will go into the baby, and then she's like, "Oh, my little Warbreaker." The
Okay.
end.
Are you trolling us? Or is that your true guess on the end of the book?
Something to that effect. Yeah.
Something to that effect? Okay. Good to know.
So is this like does the book have like a 9-month time skip, or is this like a super fast pregnancy?
Well, it'd be a magic baby.
Of course. All right. What's Vivenna gonna be doing the whole time?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Not relevant for the rest of the book.
Will she'll help deliver the baby? That's what she'll
Oh
do.
no.
To use her
That's her
powers and her
role.
breath. Yeah.
Vivenna has been built up the entire book to be a midwife.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my guesses aren't going to be much better than that. So Siri's going to do her plan to try to get. She's going to talk to Lightsong. He's going to assist her. They're going to try to get the people to hear what Susebron has to say, and it's going to go either one of two directions. One is he's going to do his Emperor Palpatine takeover thing because he's actually some evil dark entity. The other that I think is more likely is that Blushweaver or the priests are going to be forced to do something crazy that they didn't expect to have to do. And war is going to break out either way. But I think it's going to be a war right in the city. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with the other sides. Blushweaver is going to make her move on the city. And Lightsong's going to have to oppose it. It doesn't go anywhere, though. Some kind of war is going to break out, and Lightsong's going to have to convince all the Lifeless to give up their powers. We'll learn the secret of the God King's power, which is going to be something super crazy. Okay, so it has to be the forces Denth is working for to bring war under Blushweaver, and maybe even the priests, against the forces Vasher has to stop the war. Lightsong's going to be brung onto the stop war side, but a war is going to happen anyways, but it's a war to try to stop a war, which is going to get really fucked up. Then Susebron... Man, I am missing a friggin' piece. I am missing a piece, so I cannot figure it out.
You're missing the time travel, Justin.
Yeah, I'm missing the time travel. It's something in that flashback stuff, for sure, in that story that was told, but damned if I know what it is.
The time travel.
That's the time travel.
That's the reincarnation aspect, Justin. You know, it would be kind of boring, but to be like those lifeless armies are Kalad's phantoms. Would that be
Oh, I
boring?
don't think so. It's so easy to make lifeless.
What if it's just like how old tech is like, oh, super advanced back then, but now it's just not really?
It very well could be, but I'm not banking on it.
Okay.
Blushweaver and Lightsong are going to go to war. Lightsong is going to have to convince all the Lifeless to sacrifice themselves. Vasher and Denth are
Convince
going to have an
people to-
epic battle in the middle.
Oh, we forgot
You
that.
mean You mean Lightsong's gonna have to convince all the return to sacrifice themselves?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because
The God King's going to give up his power that he's held on to for 1,000,000 years because the priests are going to say this is the moment it needed to happen because Bluefinger's people are the ones driving this whole war. That's what it's going to be. And then Siri will give birth to her own husband, and they'll name it Warbreaker. The end.
Ugh. You're telling me I messed up, Justin? I didn't say that. Ugh.
God, this isn't
What Vivenna's going to do, though, I don't know either.
Deliver her husband.
No.
Justin, the sad part is that part where you're like, Siri will give birth to her own husband. That is Avengers issue number 200.
See, yeah, there's precedent for that kind of story. That didn't come out of nowhere.
Comic book stuff, like
yeah, there's fucked up stuff out there.
The comic that pretty much destroyed Carol Danvers' character for like 25 years. All right. Well, after all those predictions, let's see if we can recover and go over to the characters of the week.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's not all just absolute fucking nonsense.
My favorite character would have to be Vivenna for these chapters, for figuring out who she is now and learning to use biochroma and trusting Vasher and having a new crush.
And I actually think there is one there. You're not just insane. And I will go with Vasher just for being cool. Being cool, being bad at expressing himself, and getting pissed off when a little girl was kidnapped and almost brutally killing a bunch of guys. All my favorite things.
I almost picked Vasher too.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't.
You don't want to go with Nightblood for the positive energy he's throwing out there?
I did like him saying Vivenna was pretty.
He doesn't
know she's
know
hot.
that.
You should get her number, man.
Nightblood is the ultimate wingman.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, you should get... I can get her number. No, you can't get her number. Yeah, I could get her number. Just watch. Just need some Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker talking to each other. All right, and I will go with Lightsong. I liked his whole scene, him talking with Larmar, just being like, I just need to know the truth, and him getting the entire time, him just thinking like, I've been trying just not to do anything. Now it's either I sit back and let Allmother take over and still do nothing, or I do what I'm supposed to do and take the Lifeless. I liked his whole chapter and him coming to some resolve.
Surprised by that too. He really did mature decision-making stuff that I didn't know he was capable of.
All right, and now quotes of the week.
My quote is just what I was saying. I have a Vivenna quote from when she's trying to figure out what's up with her. She wanted to learn to awaken. Why? What did that say about her? That she was willing to accept a tool her religion rejected just because it would make her powerful? No, that wasn't it. At least she hoped it wasn't. Looking back on her recent life, she felt frustrated at her frequent helplessness, and that felt like part of who she really was. The woman who would do anything to be sure she wasn't helpless. That was why she'd studied so hard That's why she studied so hard with the tutors in Idris. That was also why she wanted to learn how to awaken. She wanted as much information as she could get and wanted to be prepared for the problems that might come to her. She wanted to be capable. That might be arrogant, but it was the truth. She wanted to learn everything she could about how to survive in the world. The most humiliating aspect of her time in Teller was her ignorance. She wouldn't make that mistake again. She nodded to herself. Time to practice then. I just really like her going through that whole process, dealing with her feelings about awakening and finding out what was true for her. This felt like a really personal moment for her character, and it was fun to go through her thinking process for it. And it made me like her a lot because I did wonder, like, wow, it didn't take much for you to break your religious commitments and stuff, you know. But now I'm like, I see. Well, she's just like this.
And we did get the little thing from Vasher now where he's like, yeah, ostrism used to be for awakening.
Yeah,
he's just saying that to get her to use it. He's just manipulating her. He's evil too.
No, don't say that. I can't handle it.
All right. Mine is very short. It is Lightsong thinking to himself about what he should do with whether he should make the choice or not. And he thinks, if he did walk away, there would be a cost. He would be to blame, for he'd given up. That's interesting to me because that's what he's been trying to do since he was born, basically, was not care about things and not be involved in things. But, at least since we followed him. But now he's seeing that he doesn't really have that luxury. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice rush line thing.
Mm-hmm. I like Allmother doing that to him.
Putting him in that position.
Yep. And so he was like so shocked when she gave him her commands.
All right. Then my quote literally takes place right before Sheta's. Who was she really? What was left when one stripped away the princess and the hatred of Hallandren? She was determined. That part of her she liked. She had forced herself to become the woman she needed to be in order to marry the God King. She had worked hard, sacrificing, to reach her goal. She was also a hypocrite. Now she knew what it was to be truly humble. Compared to that, her former life seemed more brash and arrogant than any colorful skirt or shirt. She did believe in Astra. She loved the teachings of the 5 visions, humility, sacrifice, seeing another person's problems before your own. Yet she was beginning to think that she, along with many others, had taken this belief too far, letting her desire to seem humble become a form of pride itself. She now saw that when her faith had become about clothing instead of people, it had taken a wrong turn. I like this whole section because all book with Vivenna, we've just been kind of showing like, yeah, she's wrong, she's arrogant, and it's just been kind of real humbling, like pushing her down, just like, yeah, nothing right. And this is the point where she's realizing, no, there are good things, good qualities to me that I believe in, that I can build on. And also that, yeah, my religion did show me there are things I believe in it. Yes, they did go a little too far, but there are good, pillars of this religion that I believe in and that I follow. It was just a way of...
Oh, good.
Yeah, she got broken down, but now she's building herself back up, and it's letting both her and also the reader see that there are plenty of good parts of Vivenna's character there. It's not just everything she does is wrong, and she's wrong and bad in everything.
Part of me does miss that. That was very funny.
Yeah, I like that. Feels like a lot of religious people's experience. Instead of just outright rejecting all of your religion, to find parts of it that, it's nice. It feels nice to forgive yourself a bit for that and find what you do care about.
I gotta ask, and do not answer this, Joe, but are we ever going to read one of these books that aren't about Brandon Sanderson's like spiritual crisis and beliefs? Or like just his personal journey through being like seeing issues in religion and then working through them so that he can have a better life? Because that seems to be the running theme of every single book we've read so far.
All right. Well, we're done with quotes there.
Did you answer?
I said
Justin
don't
told
answer.
Me not to.
Oh.
I don't want the answer because I really love it. I really, really enjoy that. I'm just super curious. To spin those thoughts off into such a successful series is so awesome. Or such a success. I don't know if it's a series, whatever the fuck this is. I still don't know what we're reading.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Cosmere is.
Still don't know what the Cosmere is.
I don't believe there is such a thing.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the big joke at the end.
These books weren't even written by the same guy.
Yeah. Joe, there is one thing that I wanted you to kind of ask us or kind of discuss a little bit, which was what did Vasher do to wipe that girl's memory?
Well, what do you think he did?
What did I...
Yeah, I got nothing. I have no guess.
I thought that maybe Vasher gave her a new breath, one that wasn't traumatized, and that you can heal someone's soul/breath by adding the bits that have been damaged and hurt by trauma into it. And that maybe that's why Vivenna was able to figure out who she was and bounce back from the trauma of being on the streets and stuff like that, because she got her breath back. But yeah, I thought that maybe... Are
you saying that you believe without breath you cannot process trauma and pain? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, just that can get damaged and stuff, That your soul can be damaged from that kind of thing.
Well, I think it's interesting. We got to see Vasher's point of view when he's like, yeah, I'm drab right now,
Yeah. Well, that made me know now that he wasn't a lifeless. That was one of my theories too.
You thought he was a lifeless? Jeez.
Yeah. A very advanced lifeless,
My
maybe
goodness.
an artificial one.
You know, you two are just going to be very disappointed when next chapters it just reveals that he has a little Men in Black flasher that he used on the girl.
I would stop reading right now. I would not finish the book. If they say
That's what
he took out his Men in Black flasher and
That's what the flicker was. Oh my gosh.
that's what the flicker was.
Yep.
I mean,
Just
it's
you really
all
don't have a
right there. As
Yeah.
long as you watch Men in Black, you'll know.
I don't have a theory because I just assume it's something I don't know anything about it. I would say that you can give commands to living people if they agree to them. That would be my theory. And she convinced the girl to take the command to forget about what had happened for the past month. That would be my only theory on that if I had to make one up. And then I'll add in that's why the God King's so dangerous because he has that power.
He can wipe the whole world's memory.
Something.
Yeah, that's cool. Start over.
Again, it's cool. It's not a theory. It's just an idea. I want to make that very clear, Sheta.
That's what all my stuff is.
You use the word theory.
That's just because that's what you guys called it.
All right. Well, now we'll go over some comments and stuff. Got a bunch because I never go over to comments when I have a guest. So I probably won't go through all of them this week, but we'll knock out a chunk of them here. Starting off, this one was from our introduction episode.
Oh, geez.
This one's from a person, OperateNL. They're just saying, I've started with Elantris 2. I'm probably going to listen to you guys along the way.
Yay, fun.
Sounds good. Let us know if you make it all the way to here.
Yep. Well, I told them, hey, go ahead, leave comments as you go, give what your thoughts are through the book, and yeah, so they said that they will. They tend to be a little bit more critical, but yeah, we'll see if they will still be with us when
now,
we get to this
does that
point.
mean critical of the book or critical of asshole podcasters? That's my worry there.
My guess is of the book. Maybe
chapter just gonna be like, this podcast is pretty good if that fucking Justin asshole would just keep his dumb mouth shut.
And we'll see if they're still listening here. At this point, they probably would have noticed that while we are critical on some points, we're not super critical. I've noticed we do enjoy.
I'm
it for the
super
most part.
critical. I just have not had any problems yet. But oh boy, you'll see me if I'm critical.
All right. Next will be from our Warbreaker Chapters 11 through 16 episode from Adel 8. I really enjoyed the mercenary humor. I appreciated the comedic effect from them and Lightsong. And the other part I answered it was a question I answered for them, the comments.
Too spicy to read off, though.
And then on to Warbreaker Chapters 22 through 24. This one's from Sister to the Rain 9 for Chapter 22. Strong opening with 2 correct predictions from Sheta and a nearly word-for-word predictive quote from Justin.
Whoa.
You guys should have reached chapter 35 by the time this shows up, so it might be nice to remind them how early and well they called this. And I believe this is having to deal with Denth and Tongfa and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know Justin did pretty much say Denth's exact quote. It's like, the thing about mercenaries is nobody ever believes it. Like, you almost said Denth's quote exactly.
Should have stuck by my thoughts there.
Chapters 23. I think Lightsong's unwillingness to just accept the most convenient narrative carried over from his former life and demonstrated here is part of the reason why he's such a, delusionary god. All the mythology around the return is awfully convenient, after all. So to a suspicious mind like his, it can't possibly be true.
That's exactly how I'd feel if I was born into this stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's interesting with the detective theory that he has about himself.
Warbreaker, chapters 25 to 28. This is another thing from Sister to the Rain 9. Chapter 25. Great discussion about Jules being proud of being and remaining a drab. I don't have anything to add. I just really enjoyed how well you covered all the sides of it. I do think it's good that at least the people who give up their breaths are compensated for it. It's the bare minimum, but at least they aren't losing it for nothing.
It could be less. That's true. Especially with religion and stuff involved.
Chapter 26. Pawn Unity, huh? I wonder if one of the reasons the gods are so idle is because doing any useful work brings them closer to their old selves. If they did useful work among other people, they might gravitate towards something they did during their old life and meet people they used to know through it.
That's true.
Oh.
And then not be a god anymore, just be a regular guy too. That's funny.
But like, I
The
just
gods-
really want to make shoes. Like,
Yeah. No. You need to look at paintings and drink all day.
yeah. Don't go to the one shoe store in town. You're gonna find
Yeah.
your family. Like,
The gods didn't orchestrate this situation, they're reborn into it. So I wonder how it got to the point where they're entirely cut off from the world except for petitioners. Maybe the priests started out with the intent to keep their oracular revenants free of outside influence and to make sure they found the purpose they returned for, but it gradually snowballed until the priests are pretty much keeping them in a gilded cage and funneling potential opportunities to die in front of them.
What a life. When you put it that way, Jesus.
Chapter 27. I really like how kind Lightsong's being here, even if it is a bit backhand.
is he nice to Siri?
I'm going to guess that was Siri.
He's nice. He's just a nice guy.
Yeah, he talked to Siri there. Oh, no, that's the one where she went to go talk to Lightsong, and it's just like, all right, I'll listen to you, and then you'll have to listen to me and stuff like that. All right. Chapter 28. I don't think that Vivenna's actually interested in Parlin. She's just aware that she probably should be, because it's what her father would have preferred for her.
So sad.
Even though she started to see that Dedelin isn't perfect, she spent the last 22 years not questioning his wisdom. So she and Parlin probably both grew up thinking they should at least be pining for each other, even if a relationship wasn't possible. Now that it is possible, neither of them actually want it, but Vivenna still feels kind of caught by that expectation.
Hope things work out for those two.
I mean, in my book, yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
Still waiting for them to make a Lifeless out of Parlin.
Oh, God. You know how fucking horrifying that will be when that happens, Sheta?
If he gets a deific breath, he would come back normal.
No. None of that shit. He's just going to be a zombie. Have you not noticed Brandon Sanderson is not the nicest guy to side characters, you know?
Yeah. Pretty nice.
Ever since he had him cut off fucking, what's-her-name's head at the end of Elantris, I was like, Jesus, this guy is brutal. That was totally unnecessary. Just 2
Karada.
seconds and she'd be alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
I
did.
mean, it was necessary for the stakes, but it was just mean.
Well, at that point, it was either her or Galadin. Which one would you have rather lost?
You know, it didn't have to be either.
Yeah, they should have just brought a third one with them and sacrificed him.
Yeah.
Character we just met today. Come on, Sweepy, you can do it. Let's go. Sure. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, fuck.
Hey, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Sweepy made it through almost 2 full movies.
I forgot I was referencing a real thing when I said that name.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that for sure.
It was, subconsciously.
For
Because I
people who
love
don't
how
know,
long he lived.
Sweepy was a random one of the background pirates on Jack's crew, and that was there in the first movie when he got a crew. He's there throughout the entire second movie, but he's never does anything. He just stands there. And then when they're being attacked by the Kraken at the end, he picks up the gun, it's like, I'll shoot and save it.
Uh-huh.
Then he just gets attacked and killed, and that's where he dies. He
He's
survives.
also the "we must have hit the reef" guy. That's how you know which guy he is. Watch for that guy the whole movie. He does so much shit in the background and almost kills Orlando Bloom and saves the day, only to be eaten by a kraken. My favorite character in those.
And then last part of their comment, predictions. Another correct one for Justin, even if he walked it back. And a second one, we've got 2 Aries walking around.
I don't remember which predictions were when.
Yeah, they're just saying that you make correct predictions and then you just take them back at some point later.
You do that a lot.
I don't know if they count if they're... It depends how accurate they are, you know? If it's just like a loose idea and it was right, then it doesn't count. But if it's like word for word, I think it counts. You hedge your bet, Shitty. You throw out so many theories that it's hard not to be right.
But they all connect. So if I'm wrong on one part, then I'm just wrong.
Yeah, building your theories off of other theories is very dangerous.
All right. And then And Warbreaker Chapters 29 through 33. Comment from Al Chad. Concerning Iker alcohol, to me, it always read as formaldehyde. Alcohol derivative, used for conserving bodies.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Ew.
sense.
Yeah.
And then from Alcade946. The best part of Hoyt's chapter when he said, "It's Hoyden time," and Hoyted all over those guys.
Oh my god. We just got memed. Oh fuck.
All right. Then from Reader Warrior. I'm starting to wonder if Justin was an AI the whole time.
What did I do?
I think that's the one where I started the episode saying that we have an AI of Justin.
Oh yeah. You got me.
That's true.
The
There's
best-
no Justin.
Yeah, we don't need real podcasters anymore.
The best underrated live action show that comes to my mind is Travelers.
I've never seen it, never heard of it, don't know what it is.
Man,
It sounds like it's either like traveling around the world reality show or some kind of like multiverse reality jumping kind of show.
now I'm sad because I'm thinking about it and oh yeah, like I remember one of the things I said is, oh, Nip Tuck is one of those underrated ones. And now Julian McMahon just passed away.
Yeah, I saw that. That was sad.
Just a 1-2 punch of Michael Madsen one day, Julian McMahon the next day.
I didn't even see Michael Madison. I didn't know that one. Oh no.
I put it in our big group chat of our D&D group.
I didn't see, man.
Yep. I did a cry face.
Oh man.
All right.
At least he was pretty old, right? Julian McMahon was not that old.
No. All right, and then so chapter 30. What if they just make Hope Finder 18, legal and adult by modern standards and morality? It would basically be a reversal of Breeze and Allrianne.
Oh god.
I like it.
Also, and this is not to condone it. Blushweaver is only, as a return, 16-ish years old, I believe.
Stop! No.
Whoa.
Her body is that of someone older, but technically she's about the same age as Hope Finder's return to lifespan. And by that logic, Lightsong is only about 6 years old. So what are we judging this by?
Nothing at all. Brandon
already
Sanderson
considered
is a
you.
freak. We all agree. Okay.
Hey.
32. Ah, yes, the god is a drunk monkey line. So that's how Brandon sees himself. Chapter 33. It's strange how quickly you two trusted Kelsier and his crew of liars, thieves, and murderers, but Dent's crew isn't as lucky.
Kelsier didn't keep calling attention to how untrustworthy he was.
Yeah.
No, he just kept saying that he was insane.
Yeah, I believed him.
That's
He
honest.
was insane. He was insane. I believe him.
All right. Theories from this episode.
Also, don't try to gaslight us into trusting Dent this now. Turns out it was all a misunderstanding.
Theories. I honestly have both too much to say and not enough in response to the multitude of Sheta theories.
Oh, well, wait till this episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'm sorry. I just say a lot of.
There's a difference between a lifeless and a drab. Lifeless are revived corpses. Drabs are people without breath.
Yes. Now I feel like an expert.
And then this is a quote from Sheta. I really hope Vasher knocking out Vivenna will be the beginning of their relationship. Can someone make sure Sheta doesn't have anyone tied up in her basement?
Sheta just likes Once Upon a Time, where they have the rule that you can't have true love without hitting someone with a rock first.
Yeah. What a cute meat.
And then we'll go over one more comment. This is one more from Sister to the Rain, those same chapters. Intros. Yes, Farscape is my favorite sci-fi show.
Yeah!
I'm confused that it's not more popular.
I know. Hell yeah. Got a Farscape fan out there.
I think I'm also getting some of the references. That was Treasure Planet and Mass Effect 3 in the last two intros, right?
Did you do Treasure Planet, Joe?
No. So, if people don't realize, all the intros I do at the beginning, I record them in big batches. So when I have time, I'll sit at my house and I'll record like 6, 7, 8 of them all at once. And sometimes I'll think I write it down. All right, I'll use this in the future. Other times when I'm recording it, I'll try to look up quotes of famous things and use them. And I record them. I forget which ones go on which episodes. Once in a while, I do have specific ones.
Like I had one about, I know one was the Dr. Hairlook's line about when a man dies. I used that one for the episode Kelsier died on.
I think I used the episode using Randy Orton's "I Hear Voices in My Head" song as an episode where Ben
No.
hears voices.
No, that's too corny. What the fuck?
And then the last episode of Hero of Ages, I used Kelsier's death against the Lord Ruler for that.
So now with these, I had to go back and listen. So yes, that was, I don't know if it was Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect 1. I know it was a Mass Effect line. I've only played the games once. Justin would probably know better if it was specifically 3. Let me see what. Yeah, because line was, we impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you end because we demand it.
Sounds like
I believe
3.
that's 3.
Okay. And the other line? No.
Does he say that in 1? I don't remember if Sovereign says that or not.
And the other line? No, that. And then the other line was not Treasure Planet. Let's see if Justin and Sheta can figure it out.
Because this one I have memorized. Wealth, fame, power.
One
Gold
Piece.
Roger. That One Piece. That's the beginning of.
Oh, yeah. Interestingly, you'd think Treasure Planet since it's also about pirates.
Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, tamed this and everything else the world had to offer. His dying breath, countless men to the sea. You want my treasure? You. I left Dad together in one place. Now you just have to find it.
And that place is Cosmere Chronicles. Is that it?
And actually, it went. And now you just have to find Cosmere Chronicles.
All right.
Wow.
All right. So back to the comment. Chapter 29. Series chapters aren't that interesting to me, but I do think that her and Susebron are cute together. It's probably easy for Susebron to navigate the world with a morality based only on children's tales and religious doctrine, because, like Vivenna, he's never been tested. He's been lonely and isolated, but he's also never had anything to compare that life to, and nobody to either question or be questioned by until now. He and Vivenna are parallels in a way where they never complement each other.
Jeez.
Yes, I agree. But if that's even true now, because I don't know.
Chapter 30. I can't really fault Hopefinder here, trading the unlikely prospect of influence during a war that probably won't happen for the guarantee of practical reform that's needed now, at least sincerely in helping people.
Man, I could not be more mad at that guy. I hear what you're saying. I totally hear you. Makes logical sense, but it is going to bite him in the ass.
Chapter
you have
31.
that duty for a reason. When you give up that duty, you're giving up on all your citizens. That's what I believe.
Chapter 31. Here's another reason I think Dedelin sucks. One of his excuses for keeping Vivenna is that she'd be a better ruler and more useful in a crisis. We already know that leaders make moral compromises was a shock to her. And here we see that she hasn't even been taught that normal people have to make moral compromises sometimes either.
That is an excellent point. She'd be a better ruler.
Do you even know your daughter?
Oh my goodness. That's a good one.
Apparently they didn't cover the economic factors that would send many Idrians to the city, which would definitely be relevant to a queen of either nation. I'm not saying Vivenna needs to be a hardened badass, but apparently she wasn't even taught to run away from a fight properly, which is a very useful skill for a political hostage. Exactly what did she learn besides religious doctrine and hair control?
Right. She keeps talking about the tutors that she goes with, but they seem like a joke now.
Well, she learned certain things, but not other things, because I don't think that she would have been as bad in her role as it portrays it as. She would not have been as good as Siri, but she would have been able to.
She would have sucked. She would have sucked.
I do think, because we've seen her being able to talk to people and stuff like that in the recent stuff, and she does have determination. The problem is that she was also raised, with all this pure hatred and everything like that. When she's getting rid of the hatred and more seeing the people. Because the recent chapters, we saw, she's trying to help the people more than what her father ever did. Her father didn't care about any of that.
Whoa. We don't know that. For all we know, he's going to ride in on a silver steed at the end and say all went according to plan. I just needed you to learn this lesson for yourselves.
I also think it's perfectly fine to judge slumlords, but I'm not religious. Purple and yellow could work as intimidating colors. especially if there's a venomous or toxic animal with that coloring, which seems possible in a tropical setting.
Yeah, when you've got a venomous animal, but just an outfit? Come on. Don't give me none of that Viking stuff, Joe.
Yeah, and then they go on. I imagined him as kind of wasp-like in design.
Yeah.
Ooh, yep. That's like the hell bees from hell in D&D.
I really love Claude's fight and the hint of humanity he shows. I didn't take from it what Sheta did, though.
I don't think anyone took what Sheta did from it.
If you saw the scene, I think you might agree more.
They read the same book.
And
yeah, what are you talking about? Saw the scene.
If it was acted out like in a movie or something, you would.
And
see
it would be like a dream cam.
No, but it would be a little moment, and that would be cute.
And then Celine Dion starts playing.
It definitely depends on who the actors are going to be too.
Chapter 32. I think it's really telling that Ciri's doing so well without all the training, and Vivenna's doing so poorly because of it. Seems like the best thing Dedelin ever did as a father or king was ignore his youngest daughter.
Yes.
See, Dedelin did nothing wrong.
Dedelin did everything wrong.
He did nothing wrong, not a single thing. He is a king of kings.
He is the worst king of all the books, maybe.
The worst king so far, Sheta.
Yes,
I don't know. Sheta, I'm gonna say sacrificing maids to a pagan religion is
Joe,
worse.
can you prove? Think about it this way. What happened after he stopped sacrificing maidens to his pagan god? The city got invaded. There's enough evidence to say that was helping.
Yeah, and then everything got restored to better than what it was before he was king.
And who knows who was sacrificing maidens below the city to make that happen? All I'm saying, we have no evidence. I don't believe anything unless I have it. I see it for sure.
I like the moment where Ciri jokes about Lightsong's past life and death, and he almost breaks character. Chapter 33. Vivenna wants to learn Awakening. This is what I mean about Dedelin training Vivenna to be rigid. She's been taught all her life that the only way she can fulfill her purpose is by being an uncomplaining sacrifice who embodies Idrian values. She's never been told that a ruler, or even a normal person, can compromise in their beliefs and still do good. So now that she's failed to become the perfect Idrian martyr, she doesn't see that much of a difference between that and embracing something she still sees as kind of damnation, as long as she can hurt the people who hurt her without even noticing it. I'm disappointed, but not surprised that she doesn't include her father in that group, which I probably shouldn't harp on about so much, but the book never quite acknowledges it. I think it's also telling that the main reason she gives Parlin for them being a couple is that their fathers expected it. She isn't into him, but that's less important to her than her father wanting them together.
You will never get me to say a bad word about Dedelin.
And then predictions. They trust the mercenaries now? Now? Well, next week will be fun. Justin has a pattern of calling things almost exactly and then walking it back right away.
You do that.
Bluefingers Diddling Smurfs is a worthy addition to the Cosmere Chronicles concepts. Almost worse than alternate universe Sazed with hair, but not quite on par with Vin dates Tensoon and Zane's mom. Solid work, Justin.
That was all you, Justin.
What?
The Bluefingers Diddling Smurfs line.
Yep.
I'm saying, it's all there.
No,
I'm shaking my head right now.
You're shaking your head, Sheta, after all those theories.
They said that was worse. That's all.
All right. Well, so looking forward to next week. Next week, we'll be reading 4 chapters, chapters 50 through 53. And I said it a couple weeks ago. Once again, if anybody's following along with, next thing reading will be, we're going to go through a couple short things. First, we'll be going through White Sand. We'll be reading the omnibus edition of the graphic novel, because that includes an extra prologue and stuff in there. So if you don't have, feel free to buy it. I know you could buy it off Dynamite's website straightly. You can buy like Kindle version and stuff on Amazon, that sort. After that, we'll be going into, because that's only be a couple weeks, then we'll go into Emperor's Soul, which is a novella in Arcane Unbounded. And then after that, we'll be starting The Way of Kings. So if you follow along, pick all that stuff up, go ahead. Yep, and we're about done. So now it's all we have to do is wrap it up with some plugs. So go at it.
Follow
Alright.
me on the website with the drawings, and you can see some pictures. Yeah.
Why did you do
Profanity,
this?
by the way.
I think that was implied.
Can you do mine too?
I can only do that once per lifetime.
God, I can't follow that up. All right, you can follow me on my website where the pictures are.
Yeah, nice.
It's either Sheta_low or Mermaid Machete.
Yeah, this is some good teamwork, man.
And then for Cosmere Chronicle stuff, different social medias are linked in the description. Send us an email, cosmechronicles@gmail.com. Leave us comments or reviews and stuff wherever you can and want to. We'll try to read them online on the podcast. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, once again, chapters 50 through 53 next week. So everyone there, maybe learn up a skill in the next week. Learn how to juggle. Be like Lightsong. All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Toodaloo.
All right. Bye-bye.